You hear it everywhere, right? AI this, AI that. Promises of revolutionizing, well, everything. But you have to wonder, beyond the hype, how real is the potential for AI to truly, fundamentally reshape technology?
Yeah, that's the core question, isn't it?
So today, we're doing a deep dive. We're looking at the sources to figure out if this is really a turning point.
Exactly. We've got some really interesting research here looking squarely at AI's power to transform tech from the ground up.
And our mission, let's say, is to get past that surface buzz.
Right. Dig into how AI is changing things now and what it could do down the line.
We'll even tackle that. Provocative idea you hear sometimes. Is reinventing technology just a matter of LLM tokens?
Let's unpack it, see what the sources actually tell us.
All right, so first off, the sources are pretty clear. AI feels like a major catalyst. It's pushing us into a new innovation era.
And it's not just small tweaks, is it? The suggestion is a real fundamental shift in how we engage with tech. Across the board, society, the economy.
Yeah, and one area that jumps out immediately is science, research and development.
Definitely. AI is accelerating discovery in a big way. It's moving beyond just, processing data.
It's starting to mimic actual scientific skills.
Yeah.
Problem solving.
Exactly. Like this LLM-4SD system from Australia.
Large language model for scientific discovery, right?
Yeah. It's designed to reason like a scientist. It can pull information, analyze it, even develop hypotheses.
Wow. And they've tested it pretty broadly.
They have. Physiology, quantum mechanics, chemistry, several fields.
So the key thing isn't just speed, it's that AI is starting to think scientifically. That could change everything.
And there are numbers to back it up. In materials design, predicting quantum properties, LLM-4SD gave up to a 48% accuracy boost.
48%? That's significant.
It is. And it's open source, which is interesting too. Potentially opens access to these powerful tools.
So it's less a tool and more a cognitive partner.
That's a good way to put it, helping shape the actual scientific process.
And this isn't just theoretical lab stuff. Big companies are using it. Merck, for instance.
Right, in pharma. They're using AI agents, these systems, combining LLMs and other AI tools for drug discovery.
How so?
Navigating huge data sets, refining research ideas, automating routine lab tasks, molecular design workflows.
Okay, streamlining the whole process.
And look at Roche's concept, the lab in a loop.
Lab in a loop.
Yeah, they train generative AI on their own lab and clinical data. The AI predicts targets, designs medicines.
Immense.
Then those designs get tested experimentally. That data feeds back into the AI. It's a continuous improvement cycle.
So much faster than the old trial and error.
Way faster. Look at DSP-11181, an AI-designed drug. It hit human trials in just 12 months.
12 months. Usually that takes, 4 or 5 years?
Exactly. And it's not just speed. These AI-native drug companies, they're reporting much higher success rates in phase 1 trials, like 80-90% versus maybe 40-65% traditionally.
That's incredible, cutting years off development time. Think of the impact on getting treatments to people.
Huge implications, and it really makes you question the whole R&D process, It's becoming less linear, more dynamic, iterative, AI-driven.
And it's not just drugs, right? You mentioned material science, too.
Yeah, Microsoft's MatterGen. It doesn't just screen existing materials, it designs new ones based on the requirements you give it.
Designing new materials from scratch.
And Argonne National Lab has Polybot.
Polybot, like a robot chemist.
Sort of. An AI-driven automated lab. It optimized electronic polymers by exploring nearly 1 million combinations.
1 million. Humans couldn't do that?
Not practically. It found ways to boost conductivity, reduce defects, got top-tier results.
So the way R&D happens is fundamentally shifting. AI is a partner, generating ideas, designing experiments.
We're seeing AI scientists, autonomous labs starting to emerge.
But there's that tension, isn't there? Open source versus, the massive computing power and data the big players have.
That's the crucial question. Can it be truly democratized when the cutting edge needs such immense resources, or does it concentrate power?
A big question. And this impact isn't just in labs. It's hitting engineering, software development hard, too.
Oh, absolutely. Generative AI could seriously optimize IT spending. We're seeing estimates 14-35% maybe?
Wow. And it's helping across the software lifecycle.
Yeah, planning, requirements, even modernizing old legacy code, design ideas, reviewing code.
Are there hard numbers on productivity?
There are. Code generation, 30-40% faster. Refactoring code, 20-30% quicker. Documentation, maybe 45-50% faster.
So AI is performing like a mid-level engineer almost, and helping with tech debt.
That's what the sources suggest. And in engineering design, AI is embedded right in the tools now.
Like Altair HyperWorks?
Exactly. Exploring design options thousands of times faster. Generative design, multi-parameter optimization, predictive modeling.
Universities are even teaching AI-driven design now.
They are. It's becoming a collaboration. Human engineer plus AI.
But maybe the biggest shift is AI actually generating algorithms.
That's potentially transformative, yes. AI that learns, adapts, makes decisions, evolves. Not just following rules.
A meta-level thing. AI optimizing the problem-solving tools themselves.
Which could lead to, well, potentially exponential progress.
So this really means we need to rethink everything, doesn't it? Workflows, how companies are structured.
Absolutely. You can't just bolt AI on. It needs deep integration. Some call it work design.
Work design, a fundamental rethink.
Yeah, building processes around AI as a core capability.
Okay, so AI is clearly disruptive. But let's talk about first principles thinking. Breaking problems down to basics. Like Musk does.
That idea of reasoning up from fundamental truths, bypassing assumptions, it's appealing for breakthrough innovation.
So where does AI fit? Is there such a thing as first principles AI?
Well, that's the emerging concept. Building AI not just from data patterns, which is how most LLMs work,
Right.
but building it based on fundamental truths. Physics, math, logic, questioning every layer, discarding assumptions that aren't essential.
So it's less about learning correlations in data and more about understanding the underlying rules.
That's the idea. Data-driven AI is powerful, but could this understanding-driven approach unlock something even more radical?
Are there examples of this?
There are claims. Tesla's autopilot supposedly relies heavily on physics and real-time AI. DeepMind's AlphaFold uses the physics of protein folding.
AlphaFold, right, that was huge.
And SpaceX landing rockets that uses physics control theory.
Okay, so what's the big win with this first principles approach?
Well, potentially less bias. Because it's not just learning from potentially biased data. It could discover truly new solutions, not just better versions of existing ones, maybe more efficient models too, built from the core up.
And more adaptable to problems we haven't seen before.
Exactly. Where you don't have tons of historical data. This connects directly to that idea of reinventing technology from the ground up, AI deriving solutions from fundamentals.
So we might see AI development split. Data-driven versus this understanding-driven path.
It's a possibility. Two different ways to build intelligence.
Thinking historically, you had the printing press, electricity, the internet, massive shifts. Is AI that big?
It feels like it could be. Those past shifts didn't just change tech. They redefined society, knowledge, everything.
And there's that idea of accelerating change, right? Kurzweil's law of accelerating returns.
Yeah, the idea that progress feeds on itself, speeds up exponentially. AI certainly seems like a candidate for that kind of paradigm shift.
But those big shifts always came with, well, complications.
Yeah.
Downsides.
Absolutely. That's the technological dilemma.
Yeah.
New power brings complex choices, unforeseen consequences, nuclear tech, industrialization.
So AI reinvention comes with a responsibility for how it's used, governed.
Definitely. And because change is happening faster, we might have less time to react to the negative stuff. It needs proactive thinking, ethics up front.
It sounds like even the process of reinvention needs reinventing.
Got it. It's not just adding AI, it's restructuring innovation, R&D, organizations, that work design idea again, reinventing the company around AI.
The how is as vital as the what. Okay, let's pull back a bit. Key insights here. Mainstream AI, the LLMs, they learn from data, inherit its flaws, its biases. This first principles AI, based on physics or logic, might be less biased, better for truly new ideas.
That's the potential fork in the road, yes.
And crucially, reinventing tech means reinventing how we invent. Integrating AI deeply, rethinking workflows.
Right, that holistic work design approach. It's systemic.
And the speed of it all. Exciting, but also risky. The ethical issues pop up faster, less time to adapt.
It's a double-edged sword. Requires real vigilance, proactive governance.
Okay, let's tackle that phrase head on. Just a matter of LLM tokens. It does kind of capture the impact of scale, doesn't it?
It does grab you, yeah. And it highlights how just more data, bigger models, more tokens seems to unlock new abilities.
Like the context windows expanding massively, Google's Gemini.
Right, processing huge amounts of info, doing more complex tasks coherently.
And we saw the impact in software dev. AI trained on billions of code lines.
Generating, refactoring, documenting incredibly fast. outperforming humans in sheer output sometimes.
So you can see why someone might say it's just tokens. Scale seems directly linked to possibility.
The intuition is there, based on what we've seen recently.
It can't be that simple, can it? Just feed it more tokens and invent fusion.
Well, no. That's the oversimplification. Scale matters hugely. But it's only one part of a very complex equation.
So what else is critical?
Oh, lots. Think about the underlying architecture. The transformer model, self-attention that was foundational, and research constantly refines these, making them more efficient, better at handling long sequences. That's not just more tokens, it's smarter processing.
And how they're trained.
Huge factor. Techniques like RLHF, reinforcement learning from human feedback or chain of thought prompting, these guide the learning intelligently.
It's not just shoveling data in.
Exactly, and the quality of the data, that's massive. Diverse, high-quality, curated data is key. Garbage in, garbage out still applies, even at scale.
So raw token count can be misleading.
Very. Progress hinges on architecture, training methods, data quality, the hardware underneath. Focusing only on tokens misses the bigger picture.
Makes sense. So even if we keep scaling, what are the fundamental limits LLMs bump up against? Things more tokens won't fix.
This is crucial. They have cognitive limitations, they're amazing pattern matchers, but they don't truly understand like humans do.
No real thinking.
Not in the human sense. No real introspection. They often need external fine-tuning to judge output quality. They lack deep domain expertise sometimes, and critically, a grasp of causality.
Correlation, not causation.
Often, yes, which is a problem for science and engineering where why things happen is key.
And the output itself. Reliability issues.
Definitely. Output quality depends heavily on the training data's recency and quality and how clear your prompt is. They can be confidently wrong.
The black box problem too, right? Hard to know they got an answer.
Exactly. Makes trust difficult in high-stakes areas. How do you verify the reasoning if it's opaque?
And we hear about hallucinations.
Yes. Confidently fabricating information. Inconsistency too, same question, different answer sometimes. Testing them rigorously is hard. The tools are still developing.
Plus technical vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Security.
Sure. They can be manipulated. Adversarial attacks, prompt injection, data poisoning. Making them robust and secure is a challenge.
And privacy. Training on all that data.
Huge issue. Sensitive data, private info, copyrighted material, risk of breaches, misuse, IP infringement. Legal minefield sometimes.
And bias. Inherited from the data.
A major concern. They can amplify societal biases, race, gender, age, leading to unfair outcomes in loans, hiring, even medical diagnoses.
So just adding more tokens doesn't solve bias, privacy, or liability.
It might even create new problems, like emergent behaviors.
What are those?
Unexpected abilities that pop up in really large models, sometimes good, like better reasoning, sometimes risky deception, unforeseen security holes. They're hard to predict or control.
So more tokens can mean more power, but also more unpredictability.
That's the paradox. Scaling unlocks capabilities and risks. It shows that more tokens isn't enough for the kind of reliable, trustworthy, deeply understanding AI needed for fundamental reinvention. We need qualitative breakthroughs too.
And let's not forget the sheer cost of all those tokens, the resources.
Absolutely critical bottleneck. Matter of LLM tokens translates to massive demands, compute power, energy, money. Physical and economic limits are real.
Training these huge models.
Yeah.
The energy use is staggering, right?
GPT-3 needed something like 1,300 megawatt hours. Future models might need city-scale power. There's a growing gap between AI's needs and what current hardware like CMOS chips can efficiently deliver.
And that's just training. What about actually using them? Inference.
Also a challenge. Bigger models need more compute power just to run, leading to cost and latency issues. Makes widespread use harder. Inference efficiency is as critical as training efficiency.
So people are looking at new hardware, like photonic chips.
They are. Using light instead of electricity for computation could be orders of magnitude faster and more efficient for some AI tasks like matrix multiplication.
But there are hurdles there too.
Oh yeah, things like on-chip memory for handling long sequences, storing these massive data sets efficiently, plus other bottlenecks, CPU speed, interconnects, memory bandwidth.
And even how we use the tokens matters, right? More sophisticated prompting costs more tokens.
Exactly. Techniques like chain of thought improve reasoning but use more tokens, increasing cost. Finding the balance is key. Research into token-efficient reasoning is vital.
So the costs, energy, compute, financial, impose real limits. It's not sustainable just to keep scaling indefinitely.
No, and it means only the wealthiest players can afford to push the token frontier, potentially stifling innovation and increasing inequality. Plus, the environmental impact is a growing concern.
So future progress needs efficiency gains. More bang for the buck, or token, or watt.
Precisely. Which is why specialized hardware is being developed. It acknowledges the current path isn't sustainable. It's not just more tokens, but better token processing.
Deeper reasoning, not just pattern matching.
That's the goal for many, moving towards models that understand concepts, not just predict words. It challenges that simple more tokens equals a better AI view. Quality matters as much, if not more, than quantity for true understanding and reinvention.
Okay, so it's clear AI is incredibly powerful, but scaling tokens isn't the whole story. There are limits, costs, complexities. Which brings us back to us, humans. What's our indispensable role here?
Well, it becomes really clear that human ingenuity is crucial, maybe even more so now. Innovation isn't just computation.
AI amplifies us.
Exactly. It amplifies creativity, problem solving. But the synergy, human expertise plus machine intelligence, that's the key. Human oversight, human refinement, they're essential to keep AI aligned, useful.
So, proprietary knowledge, domain expertise, that human insight, that's where the real value lies, not just in the raw AI output.
That's what many sources suggest. Someone said, LLMs make you average real value comes from proprietary knowledge and experience.
Makes sense. AI can generate options, but we define the strategy, decide what problems are worth solving, interpret results in context.
Absolutely. Those remain human domains. Strategic direction, nuanced interpretation, considering the human and societal context. And that last mile, turning AI output into a real-world solution that takes human judgment, intuition.
As AI gives us more options, our ability to choose wisely becomes more critical.
You could say that. Human discernment, navigating ethically.
And the ethical dimension is purely human, right? AI doesn't have a moral compass.
Not inherently, no. Critical thinking, ethical judgment, contextual understanding, these are vital. AI is a tool. Using it responsibly depends on faculties AI lacks.
Is there a risk we rely too much on it? That our own critical thinking suffers?
That's a real concern. AI should augment thought, not replace scrutiny. And human micro-expertise, that deep contextual hands-on knowledge, likely becomes more valuable as AI generalizes. We need people to ground AI in reality.
And because AI lacks innate values, we need to provide the ethical guardrails. Reinvention isn't just technical.
No, it's tied to societal needs, ethics, long-term impact. Human judgment, informed by ethics and context, is paramount.
This all feels like it forces us to ask some big questions about ourselves. A philosophical rupture, as some call it.
It does. Increasingly smart AI challenges the human-machine line, our sense of uniqueness. It makes us ask, what does it mean to be human now?
Can AI help us understand ourselves?
Yeah.
By analyzing our data?
It might offer insights, yeah. A tool for self-reflection, maybe transformation. But as philosopher Tobias Rhee said, it cannot be smart for me.
We still need subjective experience, our own insights.
And guiding AI's development needs that broader philosophical engagement. Defining its purpose, what counts as valid knowledge for AI, how it interacts with reality, those are human tasks.
So AI is a catalyst not just technologically, but culturally, intellectually,
Yeah.
pushing us to think deeper about values, purpose.
It could be. It might accelerate our ethical and philosophical maturation because we have to grapple with responsible AI governance urgently.
And what about emotional intelligence? As AI gets better at reading emotions.
Paradoxically, human EQ becomes more important. Self-awareness, managing our emotions, understanding others. These are foundational for leadership, empathy, collaboration.
AI can simulate empathy, maybe? Or analyze emotional patterns?
It might. Effective computing is advancing, but it can't replicate genuine human connection, ethical intuition, the nuances of social dynamics.
So real leadership, successful human AI teams, they'll rely on those uniquely human emotional skills.
That seems likely. Technology is made by and for humans. Empathy, trust, emotional understanding, and decision-making, they're critical for integrating AI humanely.
Meaning soft skills become premium skills. Empathy, ethics, communication, creativity.
Very possibly. Education and training need to focus on these human-centric skills that complement AI, not compete with it directly.
It points to that symbiosis again. AI augments, humans guide and refine. Collaborative intelligence.
Yeah. The big challenge is designing that symbiosis so it's empowering, fair, and helps humans flourish.
So looking ahead, navigating this path to reinvention, we face some serious challenges, right? Ethical hurdles, societal barriers.
Absolutely. These aren't side issues, they're central. Bias is a huge one. AI learning from biased data can lead to unfair outcomes.
How'd we fight that?
Diverse data, bias audits, fairness-aware algorithms, strong ethical guidelines. It's an ongoing battle.
Then there's accountability.
Yeah.
The black box problem again.
Right. If you don't know how it decided, who's responsible when it goes wrong? We need more transparency, explainability to build trust.
Privacy and security, too.
Oh,
All that
yeah.
data.
Big risks. Breaches, misuse of personal or company info. Needs robust governance, encryption, anonymization, clear regulations.
And jobs. AI automating tasks must lead to displacement.
It will. We need proactive strategies, reskilling, upskilling for an AI economy. Thinking about fair access to new jobs, social safety nets.
Public trust seems key as well. People need to understand it, not just fear it or overhype it.
Exactly. Open dialogue, education, demonstrating ethical commitment are crucial. Cultural hesitancy is real.
And the law is struggling to keep up.
That's the pacing problem. AI develops faster than regulations. Liability, IP rights, compliance, lots of uncertainty, which creates risk, needs adaptive governance.
So dealing with these ethical and societal issues isn't optional. It's a prerequisite for responsible AI.
Totally. Focusing on making AI trustworthy, fair, and accountable now is more critical than speculating about distant futures.
Speaking of distant futures, the singularity, that hypothetical point of runaway tech growth, is that relevant here?
Well, the idea connects to the listener's thought about reinventing everything from the ground up. It represents the ultimate transformation. Ray Kurzweil and others predict it this century, based on accelerating change.
But there's skepticism about that, isn't there?
Oh, plenty. Critics point to diminishing returns. Progress might get harder, not easier, as complexity grows.
Like hitting walls.
Maybe. Or the idea that human-level intelligence is some magic tipping point might just be, well, human-centric bias. Maybe there are fundamental limits to intelligence itself.
Faster isn't necessarily smarter.
Right. A fast-thinking dog is still a dog, not a superintelligence. Paul Allen talked about the complexity break. The smarter we get about intelligence, the harder further progress becomes.
Even economic factors could play a role.
Sure. If AI causes mass unemployment, demand collapses. Who invests in singularity tech then? Some argue proponents misread growth curves, seeing exponential where it's really an S-curve leveling off.
So the singularity debate is interesting, but maybe a distraction from immediate issues.
For practical purposes, yes. Near-term AI safety, reliability, fairness, those matter hugely, whether or not a singularity ever happens.
And beyond ethics and hypotheticals, there are just inherent complexities and risks in powerful AI itself.
Definitely. Reinventing with AI means dealing with unforeseen complexities.
Yeah.
Modern AI systems are complex adaptive systems.
Meaning they can surprise us, emergent behavior.
Exactly. Unexpected abilities pop up, not explicitly programmed. Can be good, can be risky deception, tool use we didn't anticipate, hard to predict or control. A core challenge.
And as AI gets integrated into everything, infrastructure, finance, health,
the risk of cascading failures grows. A small AI glitch in one place could cause chaos in interconnected, opaque systems. Vulnerabilities multiply.
These shifts aren't just technological, are they? They change society, values.
Deep transformations, altering economies, how we live, maybe even what we think it means to be human. It's co-constructed technology, politics, culture, individual choices, all shape it.
So the future isn't predetermined. We have agency.
We do. Societal choices, policies, ethics, public engagement, they will shape AI's path and the kind of reinvention we get. It underscores our collective responsibility.
Okay, charting the course forward then, towards these redefined possibilities. What conditions are necessary for truly fundamental reinvention using AI?
Well, first, we need to move beyond just incremental tweaks. Foster a research culture that values bold, first principles thinking, questions assumptions, explores radical ideas.
Break down silos, too,
Right.
between AI folks and others.
Crucial. Interdisciplinary collaboration, AI experts with philosophers, ethicists, social scientists, artists. A holistic approach is needed.
And openness, sharing resources.
Yes. Democratizing AI, open science, open source tools like LLM4SD, ethical data sharing, collaborative platforms for broader input.
We also need to pick the right problems. Focus AI power strategically.
Focus on the grand challenges: climate, disease, sustainability. Direct AI towards maximum societal benefit.
And keep pushing basic AI research, beyond just LLMs.
Absolutely. Explore new architectures, new learning methods. Aim for AI that's more robust, explainable, efficient, maybe genuinely intelligent in a different way.
So reinvention isn't automatic. It's a concerted effort. But the possibility horizon is expanding. maybe faster than ever.
It seems that way. AI gives access to knowledge and problem-solving skills previously unreachable. What we think is achievable is changing, and maybe the rate of that change is increasing too.
Unthinkable today, achievable tomorrow. Faster and faster.
That's the potential implication. Huge consequences for planning, adaptation, the future.
It sounds like AI is literally changing the definition of possible.
In many ways, yes. It lowers skill barriers, helps novices learn faster, makes complex info accessible, democratizing capability.
Some talk about a new axial age, like historical shifts in understanding.
It could be that profound. AI processing info beyond human scale lets us access spaces we cannot discover on our own, as one source put it, finding hidden patterns, generating novel ideas.
Possible becomes fluid, dynamic.
Yeah.
AI isn't just solving problems efficiently.
It's revealing entirely new problems and solutions we couldn't even conceive of before.
So strategically, how do we foster this transformative potential responsibly? What should we be doing?
Cultivate an AI-fluent workforce. Education, reskilling at all levels. AI literacy for everyone. Specialized training, continuous learning for human-AI collaboration.
In governance, ethical frameworks.
Robust, adaptive, global, ideally, emphasizing transparency, accountability, human oversight, human rights. Good governance enables trust and sustainable progress.
Keep it human-centric.
Always. Design AI to augment us, align with our values, serve human goals, not just tech for tech's sake.
Maybe even philosophical playbooks for companies using AI, defining their purpose. Ethics.
That's a great idea. Clarity on objectives, standards, non-negotiables, human oversight levels.
And invest heavily in AI safety research, understanding the risks.
Essential. Mitigating harmful emergence, misuse, alignment failures, systemic vulnerabilities.
And collaboration across sectors, academia, industry, government.
Promote those ecosystems, share knowledge, innovate ethically, solve problems collectively, guide AI for societal good.
As AI handles more tasks, our most valuable skills become meta skills. Learning how to learn, critical thinking, collaboration, ethics.
That seems right. Adaptability, systemic thinking, navigating ambiguity, nuanced judgment. Education needs to shift focus to these competencies that complement AI.
Move from competing with AI to leveraging it.
Exactly. Building that symbiotic relationship. AI augments, humans guide, creating collaborative intelligence. The challenge, again, is making it empowering, equitable, and aligned with human flourishing.
So it's incredibly clear, AI-driven reinvention. It's vastly more complex, more nuanced than just counting LLM tokens.
Miles beyond that, yeah. It's about this really intricate, evolving partnership between stunningly powerful tech and, well, human wisdom.
Harnessing AI strengths, but keeping human ingenuity, ethics, context right at the heart of it.
That has to be the goal.
So moving forward requires vision, yes, but also really responsible stewardship. Guiding AI with wisdom, focusing on human well-being.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
And for you listening, maybe think about your own role in this. How do you stay informed, stay critical, and what does reinvention really mean to you in a human sense? What principles should guide us as we navigate this?
Well, this incredible unfolding future. Lots to ponder. And we've only scratched the surface here on the deep dive.